What's up, fam? It's LeonMarvel here. We want to do a face to face. Yeah. Um. Yeah, because I just want you to see my expression when we talk about how pathetic split decks are being treated. I mean that. Like, it ain't right, man. It ain't right. And split decks do have to be dirty. We gotta be dirty fighters. I mean, it's just keeping it real, right? We gotta be dirty fighters, right? So, man, but you just look at all the top tiers rankings. To promise you, there's gonna be solid colored decks. There's no way. At least right now, because right now we have a split deck player. I have seen this guy. He wrecks me every time because it's um, the Trish combo, the Trish with the what's another guy here that I see. I've played Water before. He's really good. Um, I don't see him up there. He got knocked down. I forget his name. I know Cal P. Awesome player. This guy's awesome. Cal P. Shoutouts. I think he has a channel. I need to see if he has a channel. I played him once and he wrecked me. I get wrecked pretty easily by the top tiers, man. I'll show you where I'm at. I live in this domain, like right at the very bottom. Like I'll make 200 and then drop extremely. About like 500 points. But yeah, representing the dark side. I see more dark side than light side. Yeah. Um. Anyway, yeah, you guys get the deal. So let's talk about split decks, and then we'll get some gameplay for split decks in here. How do I get out of this screen? Is it because my things are right? My bad, my bad. I'm using a bootleg way of recording, so I paid premium, so I want to sometimes get my money's worth. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, let's talk about split decks, y'all. I got a couple in here that are I have a couple in here. I need to look which way. This way. Okay. I have a couple in here that are that's weird. That are split decks that I like. Right. Let's see. I just made these dumb decks to level up my dog so I can get some free tickets so they don't count. So for example, so my I want to be the girl does extremely well. I can easily climb to 2,000 and back. That's where my domain is. I don't get beyond 2,000 because of matchmaking, which is not fair. So I need to get rid of this deck. I think this deck was another one that I just made just to kind of derp around. So screw that up. Yep. Beast Spawn, for example. This is when Adventures of Tiny Hero just first came out. And this is why this deck got trashed, because this is the perfect example. Every patch, because split decks have to fight dirty. Not making excuses, they do. Because we don't have many advantages. So we have to utilize cards across all decks that can maximize what the game plan is. So the game plan of this deck is to power up this card so that basically we can be invincible, so that we can just keep double hitting and forbidden fruit and all that good stuff. But have you guys noticed any other cards that are going to be severely affected by this deck? We have Aegis Memories is going to be a 5 damage now instead of a 7. We have Valstrax, which sounds like some kind of vaginal disease or something. He got totally just destroyed. He's a 4 cost now, and he's I'm not complaining. I think these are fair nerfs, but this is the pattern of every season. We get the brunt of the attacks, the split deck players, and then the solid colored decks are balanced. Meanwhile, split decks are like, why play split decks? Because if you try to play Valstrax now, not only is he neutered heavily, Um, he is also a 4 cost, which makes him a target to things a lot more than it would be 5. 5 is usually like the borderline. You're not going to get rid of this card easy, unless you're paying more than 3 or higher. Typically, you can kind of get away with some 2 cost cards to kind of get rid of, but he can do something like, get his attack up or something like that. So anyway, I'm rambling. We got the nerf. So then, also, what else got nerfed? Our boy Bloodbath Frenzy, which is basically totally unusable right now. It's totally unusable. It's just even the new Bloodbath is not even. That's not even a conversation piece, man. Like, the memory cost is totally ridiculous for this card, and you lose 2 life. So I don't even know if they adjusted that. So I just looked at it and I saw all those nerfs to it. I was like, man, that sucks. So this is just like just to give you an idea, this is when Adventure of Tiny Heroes first came out. This is the first deck that I came up with without any help, without any kind of guidance. I just was like, I know these cards are amazing. Conga Power is amazing. Dive Spike Bomb in itself is amazing. And Valstrax is about to get nerfed because of me doing this. And Ogatron didn't turn out to be exactly what I thought he would be. But just the concept behind him is awesome. He's just expensive, man. He's costly. But if he didn't, I mean, look, you get a 1/2 back in EX pocket. But here's the thing. The thing why this deck didn't even work when Adventure Tiny Hero was, this card would have been great to kind of cycle cards around if not for the cost. And that is where we're going to begin our segment of why split decks are just neutered, man. It's really hard to rock split decks. I would say season 1, season 2 is when split decks were actually kind of viable. They were kind of pretty good. But then that trend came when people were complaining about split decks. And then now they don't even regard, I don't think, that cards, when they make them in the first place, could be used for split. So that's why a lot of people wanted, like, for example, the Trish deck. Man, that got out of control because the goal of that deck was to have so many 4-cost cards in the field. It didn't matter if you sealed them or got rid of them. The Dante player would just bring them back, one way or the other. And so it got to the point where it was like, what can you do about it? It's only but so many seals and, destroy cards people put in their decks because they're trying to reach their own goal, right? So then it's back to the trend of, we need to patch this real quick, we need to fix it. So then that deck is completely neutered. And then, when you neuter certain decks, when you nerf them, you actually inadvertently nerf other cards. So like, for example, the meme Nero deck that everyone hates, which I respect. I mean, when you beat me with a meme Nero deck, I'm like, all right, it's a loss. So it's not a huge deal. But you know what? I have respect for him. But then you're busy trying to fix the Trish C Viper deck, and you basically inadvertently neuter the meme deck, which is, I feel bad, for them, because that would be what a lot of the cards in that deck, kind of utilize the tool. So it's just like, come on, man. That's what feels a little bit unfair. So, for example, I do a couple of games with my V5, and you see how many iterations I go through with these type of split decks. I love split decks. I love that they're unique. I love underdog decks. And yes, I am starting to come back to the mono colored decks, but I just like split decks. I like to look at a card from all the way on the other side, and it's like, ooh, that looks nice. That would be nice on top of, because it gets your mind thinking, and it should be some advantages. So right away, we'll see some disadvantages with split decks, and most people already know this is basic information. But first off, you're limited to whatever they release in the expansion. As you can see, each expansion has been different. There's no real support, for split decks. As far as like when an expansion comes out, it's not like, this card is going to benefit from you having less cards, to use. So right off the bat, you only get 5 MP. that is severely limiting you. Like, it really is. To the point where you have to be active, right? Or die. So, so you're forced to kind of like throw away cards. Like, I would have liked to save that, but having it in my hand would be disastrous. You know, and then not only that, you are limited to 5 cards. So, it is not only making it so that you are at a disadvantage with the MP. Ah, he caught me off guard. I was just about to drop this. Okay, I'm happy dropping now. Let's do it. And hopefully he get. And then you have to hope and pray that that person uses MP. Okay. All right. So see how I'm hoping that he uses MP right. Because, see, it didn't work. So now I can't use my combo. My combo would have been to rebirth Lucia. So that way I could, so that way I can have an extra Lucia in my slot for cheaper. And that's like the basis of this deck. And it would be awesome. But the problem is, this is my problem this time around. Just kind of just, again, cycling cards. I've won at this point unless this guy can pull a miracle. Because I got a 6 cost here on the field, so there's nothing you can really do about that. And that's fine, we can take the hit on that. Just gonna do this just because I need a cycle. What is the goal this guy's doing? I mean, he's got less cards than I do, and nothing's happening. Alright, let's just go. We're gonna try to close this out. So, yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, this works. This deck works. But a lot of the things that is a disadvantage with stuff like this is that, you basically have to kind of like be clever, right? Which is cool. But you don't get any rewards for having a split deck outside of finding good cards. But then when your good cards are nerfed, then you cannot use split deck. So that's what sucks, right? And the number one thing that screws split decks over more than MP and more than getting stuck with cards in your hand, because we haven't gotten to a match where I've gotten stuck yet, but you can get pretty stuck really easy. Is that you have to play against someone that can use combos, and that you get a.
Guess I have no choice.
So for a split deck, starting off with 4 MP is actually a slight disadvantage. It would be nice if you start off with 0 MP. I would say that would be the first thing I would want to adjust, right? That everyone starts off with 0 MP. So that way you're equal across the board. You get time to think. But I know that you did that so that things can move a little fast paced. So I get it. He is charge shot, so I'm going to take advantage of that. And that's fine, because what's going to happen is I'm going to get rid of all his full. You'll see this. It'll be pretty good. And that's fine. Because that's nothing. Cool. Sometimes I get mixed up with which card.
Throw down your weapons and surrender.
That's fine. Keep going. So I'm going to drop my other MP person, and that will be the end of that. Yeah, so hopefully I can pull this combo off. See, some of these combos I just wish maybe Split should have like a built-in MP boost. If you split that, you automatically build up MP, right? So now I want to drop one more card.
Unleash this power to end all conflict.
Let's do it. Ooh, look at that drill. Nice. So boom. Good idea. The nice thing was just erased all 3 after he used his charge shot. That would have been devastating. Alright, so let's switch to the drop. See what happens.
Throw down your weapons and surrender.
stand against a god.
Yeah, there's no big
Preparation.
He pulled like a. Okay, all right. I'm down in the dregs. I'm not fighting against other people here. So. Yep. So yeah, when you get a combo, unless you get the advantage, see, I have the MP advantage at this point. You and I'm a split deck. It's beautiful because I'm also benefiting from cards that you normally wouldn't see. You know. So. This is pretty much amazing. So yeah. No, I'm not showcasing a deck that is the total opposite of what I'm talking about. Please don't nuke my deck. Don't nuke my deck. But yeah, it's just a sucky, and I'll be making another version of another thing. But luckily, all the cards in this deck don't utilize anything that got nerfed, as far as I know. Let's go look back. So, when I do split decks, this is what goes through my mind. The first absolute thing, can I build MP? Yes or no? That is going to be double. Back in the day, double was trash, man. Like, you could not use this card without punishment. So even if they get rid of double, I have ways of bringing back on the field. I don't have any problem rebirthing him with 0 attack. Does not bother me at all. Because, we can always use friendly feud to get that back. So that's great. Alright, so next thing, I look. Okay, do I have any cards that are going to get me stuck? And that is where the math comes in. Because you want to try to have as many cards that will get you stuck, not get you stuck. And you can waste it. So far we have 1, 2, we have 3, 4, and it could potentially be 5. We could use that on an opponent. And then we have an action card, 6. So the rule of thumb is you don't want to be over 10 cards that can get you stuck. If you can get less, that's great. Most people say 5. That is stretching it because you have to get to your goal. So I have under 10. So I have 1, 2. These are 2. 1, 2. Oops. 2 friendly feuds. 3 desperate acts. Then we have Ryu. That's 6. 7 for forbidden fruit. 8 for, well, we could probably use merciless on something, but we could get stuck. So it varies on some things. So some cards can be used for duel, such as we can throw a trash unit out there and use liberating, and that'll be a huge MP disadvantage. But we could also bait to get an advantage because liberating slash will pay for itself. So there's things you have to think about like that. And hopefully I get in a match where I have to make that decision. So far I've gotten awesome matches with everything that I need. And it's about 50-50. Sometimes, it seems like it's not as advantageous. Some days. And that's when I stop playing the game. That's when the RNG Alright. And then here's where I start losing points, right? Because that's the other thing, right? The matchmaking. Ass. This pull is ass. It's a little better. See, with Axel, it's great to use that in a combo. You gonna let me do it? I had to do that early in case he tried to seal, because I don't want to have to use up one of my 2 cards that could potentially give me a benefit. So I want to get some MP games here. I will. So he is stealing cards from my own deck, and that is not good. So we need to actually get them. Oh, see, case in point. So now we have Ryu. So now we are almost going to be. There's no way to discard cards from my deck, right? So unless he stole it. Because there is one card that is going to allow me to shuffle Ryu out for a small chance.
You think you can stand against a god?
That it'll work. And I just have to shuffle to it. And that card it doesn't look like I'm going to get that in time to save my bacon. So I'm basically kind of just like, you know, hoping that he gives me 3 MP so I can catch up. We're looking at 7-2. So again, this is how disadvantageous, when things don't go right, they go terrible with split decks. Like, seriously bad. We want to try to get rid of the batteries. Is he going to shield up? I think he is. I think he's going to shield up. Probably he didn't have a shield, so that's good to know. And I don't want to waste MP here. I could potentially bring back one of my batteries to help me. That was great. Great. Alright. He's just getting tired. Hopefully some of them get him stuck. He's on good. Alright. So far so good. So, yeah, we're just kind of just shuffling it. So yeah, man, split decks, they suck. I mean, it really does suck for me. Alright, here we go. Now finally, come on. This is exactly what I wanted. Perfect. Great. So we're still at a disadvantage, but he's not at the advantage. So that's good. That is very good. So we're going to use one of our tokens here. Just going to protect our life points. Oh, that's great. Yes. Keep that MP going, baby. So now we're going to hope that we can... We're going to hope that we can...
I don't have time for your interference.
Utilize... Oh boy. Cool. Alright. Let's see if he let me. Will he let me? Okay.
You think you can stand against a god?
Let's see what that amounts to. It's so far so good. Oh, great.
You're eager to play.
And break his heart. Break that man's spirits. Come back. That's how you come back. That's what you do. Didn't get a chance to get a freebie. That's not good. We need to soak up something. We need to soak something up. We need to sop it.
Behold, my power.
Sop it right now. Can't even do anything about that. That's what sucks. See, that's what sucks. We need some emergency triage right now. We're probably gonna take a hit, and that's okay.
Your struggles are futile.
Come on, give me something for free. He thinks it's gonna probably destroy me, but that's fine. It's not, actually. Wonderful. Oh, okay. It didn't target Amy. I was so afraid that it was going to target Amy, what he was doing, but I guess she could not be destroyed. That's what the card says. So, split decks, y'all. They're horrible. As you can see. As you can see, they're horrible. I just wanted to be around, man. I just want to get an advantage that's not cheap. Is that so hard to ask for? It might be. It might be. Yeah, man. All right. Well, I love you guys. Thank you for hanging in there, for subscribing to the channel. And yeah, it's an ongoing cycle. So when the next card pack comes out, we will see V6, and hopefully I'm going to try to build another split deck tonight and let you know how it goes. When is that? I don't know when the update patch officially goes live. I need to check the mail. I haven't been looking at the news. I just kind of glanced at the cards from Reddit, and I was like, okay, great. But yeah, I will make another split deck once that update patch comes out for you guys. And yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. Always being there for me, guys. And yeah, just hit me up in the comments and let me know what you think about split decks. And if you need me to post or make one, if you need me to make any deck, just let me know. I'll try to work on it. Alright, guys. Peace. See you in the next one. Subscribe.